Hi, I've just put together this list on considerations you may want to take when you start tutoring, when you're first looking for your initial students. If you want a copy of it, just send me a message and let me know, and I'll happily send it to you. And some of them probably sound quite obvious, but the more in depth you can go, the easier you'll find it to ensure you're working with the right person and also to market to them in the first place. I've started with basically the obvious, but what subject do you want to tutor? Is it maths? Is it English, science, French, whatever? And why? Is it because you find it easy? Is it because you've got a passion for the subject? Is it just because you think there wouldn't be that much work involved? What's your why for choosing that subject? Next, you want to think about where do you want to tutor? So, do you want to tutor online, at your home, at their home, at a tutoring centre maybe? And again, ask yourself why. Is it because if they come to your house, it's easier? Is it because you've got children or whatever to look after at your own home? Or is it easier if you do it online because that way you haven't got to prepare physical resources and you don't have to travel? Is it easier for you if you do it at their home because that way you don't have to worry about your house being suitable for people to come into, perhaps if you've got children at home or pets or whatever the reason may be? Is it easier to rent a tutoring a natural physical centre and do group lessons? Have a think. And what is your why as to where you want to do your tutoring? The next question is, if you want to support children of an exam sort of age, so maybe GCSE, A level or something, which syllabus would you like them to be following? Because although you can, I think, well, they're all probably pretty much the same, is probably most important with books, subjects such as English Lit. For example, it could be that one school is doing Macbeth, Animal Farm, and Inspector Calls, and Power and Conflict, but it could be another school is studying another syllabus, or even maybe even the same syllabus, but they've chosen different books. So the amount of work you're creating for yourself in preparing your knowledge and resources for them is increasing. So is there a specific syllabus you want to follow? Maybe you want to niche down on that. Is there a particular school that you want to support predominantly so that you know that you're only supporting those particular books or that specific curriculum, etc.? And again, why? Why is it that you've chosen that one? Is it because if it is English literature, for example, you know those books better? Or is it because that's the one you've recently finished yourself and that's the one you're most familiar with? So you've got a general understanding of how those questions are supposed to be answered. So that's your next question to consider. The next thing you need to think about is what's your preferred teaching style? Is it resources and textbooks? Is it games? Is it conversation? Is it reading? What's your preferred teaching style? And again, ask yourself why. Is that because that's how you feel you learn best? Is it because you feel that's easiest? Is it because you feel that that's what's expected? Is it because that's what you feel um, you were educated doing? And so that's obviously the way things are done. So what's your preferred way of actually supporting other people with their learning and why? The next question is what age range do you want to support? Because that's going to dramatically change the support that you're giving children. Because obviously, if you're working with a 5-year-old, that's going to be completely different to working with a 15-year-old. So, do you have a preference to age? And if so, once again, why? And the last question for this section is what's your availability? Do you predominantly want to work in the day? Do you want to work on an evening? Do you want to work on a weekend? And the reason I put why for this, you kind of think, well, that's because the time I have available. But remind yourself that when you do it, say 2 or 3 years down the line, and you've kind of said, okay, I want to work at this stage, you're saying I want to work at weekends because um, I don't want to work on an evening. And it's a nice warm Saturday afternoon, and the rest of the family are having a barbecue, and you're off tutoring. Remember your why. Remember why you chose to do the Saturday afternoons because you didn't want to work on an evening because you wanted to keep your evenings free. So remember your why. I mean, things do change over time, but if you can remind yourself that there's a reason why you've chosen this, those days when you are kind of think, I really can't be bothered today, there's a reason why you decided to be working at this time of the day on this particular day. And it could be like when I first started, I wouldn't work on a Wednesday evening past 7:30 because Jay had rugby practice, and if we had practice or a game, I always wanted to be there to make sure that I was there to support him as a parent, but also if anything ever happened, if he ever had an accident or something, I was there, maybe an overprotective mother, but that was what I wanted. So I just didn't work at those times. As he got older and moved away and stopped doing rugby, I obviously was able to work those times, but at that particular stage, that was my reason for not working on a Wednesday evening or Sunday morning. So again, why? Think about it. The next question to ask yourself is, why do you actually want to become a tutor? Is it just literally for the money? Is it because you have a passion about the subject and you want to encourage other people to have a similar passion to you? Is it because you've always wanted to teach and this is a means that you would like to go about it? You've probably got your own unique why, and that's perfectly fine. But why do you want to become a tutor? Have a think about it. And the other thing is, if you are thinking of joining a company, maybe as a franchisee or as an employee, what are their values and do they match your own values? Because, for example, when our philosophy is very much every child is unique, and we adapt every lesson so that it suits that specific child's individual learning style, it suits the stage they're at, etc. So it's a lot of extra hard work, but we know that we're doing our very, very best for that individual child. So maybe that's what you're looking to do, kind of like thinking, well, I want to I want to know that I'm doing my best for that child. Um, I'm happy to work with this sort of level, that sort of level, or whatever. I know I may not always have 100% pass rate with the exams, but that doesn't matter because I know the children I'm working with want my support and I will do my absolute utmost to help them. Or it could be that you're looking for something which is more generic, something more like worksheets or something because you like the routine of knowing that if I'm supporting that, then these worksheets are what will be needed. I know that these worksheets have worked fine in the past, so why wouldn't they work fine in the future? Or it could be that um, the company that you're going to be working for charge quite a bit of money, but because their main focus is profit. And so that could be why you're looking to work for that particular company. Maybe it's a combination of lots of things, maybe it's one specific thing. But have a think about the company's ethos so that you are thinking about joining, and does that suit your own ethos? Because if there's a clash, if there's a discrepancy, you're always going to find it really, really hard to justify the way in your mind, justify the way that you're doing things and why you're doing it like that. So if it's a company like mine where we do expect you to kind of like tailor make each lesson accordingly, and that's not what you want to be doing, you're never going to be happy for working for that company. Whereas if you want to be kind of like very specific and you want to support the child as an individual, you're not going to be happy working for a company where it's much more about the money and generalizing things and kind of like perhaps, I don't know, um, working with larger groups of children because that's how you can create maximum profits, etc. You know what you want to do and you know why you want to do it. So with all of these, have a think and think about the whys, because it will make it so much easier if you know why, to be able to justify it, and then not justify it to others, but justify it to yourself. So those days, like I say, that you can't be bothered, or if you're thinking about who do I want to tutor, if you're just getting started and you know why you want to do it, you'll find it much easier then to talk to parents about why you do it that way, or what's influenced you to think like that, etc. Whereas if you just have a very generic sort of overview of it, I know I want to support GCSE maths, fine, perfect, but why? Think about it and the deeper you can go into your why, and you'll probably have other questions you want to consider as well, but the deeper you go into it, the much easier you're going to find it to be able to, like I say, support the child, talk to the parents about it, and offer them the support that they're going to need. I hope that's helpful. Any questions, please do pop me a note. If you want me to send you a copy of this across, again, please do pop me a message. Just DM me your email address or something. Or follow us on Facebook at Clara James Franchise, and or sign up for our weekly email. So many options, sorry, too many options. But if you are interested, please do get in touch with me, and I promise, no matter what stage you're at becoming of thinking of becoming a tutor, you've become a tutor, or you're thinking about becoming a franchisee, or looking for a job as a tutor somewhere, I promise you, whatever the situation, I'll always do my best to help. Have a great evening, have a great day, and take care.